Yesterday's class we're understanding what Pega is. And finally, we concluded Pega is one automated tool where everything related to front-end part and everything related to back-end part and something about like database part also inbuilt. So in terms of front-end, it is automated with the latest markup language that is HTML5. And in terms of styling, it is included with the latest CSS that is Cascading Style Sheets 3. And by default, this will be having some scripting, right? So we are just having JavaScript included. Okay, so with this JavaScript, any kind of front-end design with its scripting can be included. So some clients today, they are asking us to implement front-end with Constellation. On top of it, we are supposed to go for React.js. That is fine. And coming to backend part, so this is completely automated with Java as it's like backend. And just for that sake, don't think that you need Java coding for that, or you don't require any coding even for that also. Okay, so complete Java is automated in terms of methods. Okay, yesterday I showed you one small example, right? So that is send email notification. So this is one existing one where respect to Java code is there for sending an email. So likewise, for whatever your backend requirement might be, we are having some OOTB methods. With that, we'll try to achieve it. And even if we are trying to develop a project using Pega, so backend, sorry, database part, that is SQL queries also will be automatically generated. So this is what we are done till yesterday. Okay, fine. So maybe today, if you are joining some company, if your manager is asking you to design this screen, so what we'll do? So maybe first we are supposed to divide this screen, right? Maybe in terms of 20% here, maybe in terms of 80%. And you are supposed to drag and drop an image. You are supposed to drag and drop an video. And for this video, extra options like on play, on loading, how to play it automatically. Okay. And the remaining controls like, so the text boxes and how the validation should be and how it's like, just a second. And the remaining part like collecting data from the user, that is first name, last name, all these things. So designing this UI looks simple for us. So it is about simply drag and dropping, but there will be a lot of complications involved also. So you are supposed to take care of styles in this case. You are supposed to take care of alignments. You are supposed to take care of validation part. Okay, and you are supposed to implement sometimes with Java scripting or sometimes with React.js. So all these things will constitute your front-end design. Okay, fine. So traditionally, if you are supposed to design this screen, it may take maybe like 1 day. But with Pega, you can achieve all these scenarios with just 1 hour. So in that way, automation is done. So based on the practice, any kind of front-end requirement, we can easily do. Okay, fine. So now coming to the backend perspective. So finally, so Pega is one automated tool where we can develop any kind of web application, right? And to be more clear, web applications will be of two types. Okay, so that is like internal applications and maybe main websites. Okay, so applications generally will be of two types. Suppose if you are going for a bank or if you wanted to know something about like Citibank, what you will do? You will just open your Google and search for something like city.com, right? So you'll get some information. So, this information can be accessed from any part of the world. You might be staying in Australia or maybe India, whatever it is, whatever the information we are getting it now, this is common because this is hosted on internet. Likewise, for Citibank itself, there will be n number of other applications. So one is city.com as their website and n number of other applications will be there. So if you go to Citibank directly, okay, if you are trying to go to Citibank directly, so there will be different applications, right? Okay, so maybe here Here, if you are trying to go to bank and if you're saying like that you want account creation, they might ask you to go to counter number 1. Here one employee will be there. He will try to deal with one application which is for account creation. And maybe if your query is about like loan, so they'll ask you to go to counter number 2. Here different application will be there which might be for loan creation. And if your requirement is about something like credit card, so they might go to counter number 3 and one employee will be there. So all these are 3 different applications related to Citibank itself. So it is having one main website and it is having n number of such internal applications. And all these internal applications, only those employees should access. You as a customer coming to the bank, can you access these applications? No, right? So these applications are to be accessible only by their bank employees. And maybe if I'm such bank employee, I cannot even access this application maybe from my home. So what are we understanding is, so for every organization, there will be n number of internal applications. So these applications, we technically call it as intranet. And the application which is hosted on the internet, which will be accessed by everyone, that is public. These are called internet. So these are intranet. So for every organization, n number of intranet applications will be there. Suppose if you go to IKEA store, you can do some online purchase. You can do some purchase at online, right? So that is ikea.com. And this application, every one of us can access from any part of the world. Maybe if you directly go to IKEA store, again, there will be different counters. So after you selecting respect to product, you might go to counter number 1 for getting like billing. You might go to counter number 2, maybe for some kind of door delivery. And you might go to counter number 3 for some kind of replacements or refund related. So these applications we as a customer cannot access. So only those internal employees, that too from IKEA servers only. Okay. So finally, organizations will be having n number of intranet applications. Okay. So let me tell you with one more example as well. Suppose if you wanted to book one railway ticket, generally in India, we'll be having one website that is IRCTC. Okay, Indian Railway, something related. So if you wanted to book one train ticket, so what generally we'll do? So we have to open this website, maybe at sharp 10 o'clock. You are supposed, tickets will be opened by the time, right? Sharp 10 o'clock, you are supposed to book one train ticket. So in that prospectus, there is no 100% guarantee whether our ticket will be confirmed or not. And that to this whole process might take minimum of 2 to 3 minutes time. Okay. Okay. Despite this amount of time, we cannot guarantee 100% success. Instead, if you go to railway counter in person, and if I'm that employee there, if I'm that railway employee, if you're coming to me, so what I'll do, I'll try to book some train ticket for you. And this process will not take more than 10 seconds. And that too, mostly 100% confirmation will be there. So what is happening? So no doubt database is safe. From here, if I'm trying to book the ticket, so one record must be stored on my name. Maybe if I go to counter also, the same process happening, right? So this is something like external or main website. This is something like internal application. So these internal applications are to increase their business. So these will be like very faster, right? Am I correct? All these internal applications will be very faster. And if you look at this application, generally it will be looking like a black and white screen. Okay, it will be like black and white screen. And these kind of applications will be colorful. Okay, why? Because these applications only those internal employees will be using. It's not on public. Then what is the purpose of these applications? This is to increase their business. How many tickets they issue, that level of business they will be getting more. So if this is completely or fully designed with extra styles, what is the point of their business increment? So here, Pega today, no doubt can design main websites as well as internal applications. But all the clients today are concentrating Pega for their internal applications development only. So finally, so applications will be are of two types, the main websites and the internal one. So all these internal applications are meant for improve their business. So using this application, how many loans I generate, that business will be generated for my bank. Using this application, how many credit cards I issue, that level of income will be there. How many accounts we generate, that level of income will be there. So these applications are to improve our business. So these are called business processing applications. And any of the tool today, if it is meant for designing their business processing applications, those are called business process management tools. Okay. So finally, Pega is one business process management tool to design internal applications of any organization. So here you might get a doubt. So can't I use Pega to design my external website? Answer is yes. Using Pega, you can design your main websites also. But no client is preferring today to design their main websites because of Pega license issue. So how the license mode will be, that I'll explain in coming classes. For now, I'll just give you one line of statement related to license. Suppose if we all are starting a bank in Hyderabad or somewhere in India. So our bank name is ABC and we wanted to create one credit card application. And this application, I don't want to design everything manually by writing coding. So I have to go with something like automated, that is Pega. So day one, we as an organization, what we have to do? We are supposed to get Pega license, right? Am I correct? We are supposed to get Pega license. So Pega will be giving license in terms of two factors. So that is number of users and number of work objects. You don't know what is work object ID. So kind of consider this as transactions, number of transactions. Okay, fine. So what are we doing here is, so we are the clients today. We are trying to get Pega license and we are hiring one team. Okay, we are giving our project to some company. So they will be completely developing this product. And then it will be deployed in our bank servers, right? Our bank employees will start using these applications. Suppose our bank is just a startup bank. We are just having 10 employees. Okay, only 10 employees. So first employee, what he will do? He will try to register maybe few customers for credit card, right? Second employee also will try to register few credit card customers, likewise. So here using this Pega built application, so how many users are logging in or how many output, this we call transaction IDs, how many transaction IDs we are generating. So now if you feel users count, users meaning nothing but bank employees in this case. So users count, if it will be very less, I can get license based on the number of users. So day one, we can say to Pega that ours is like startup related. So only 10 users will be there, using which we'll generate different transactions. We can get license in terms of number of users. Okay. Suppose if I'm taking license in terms of number of users, only for 10 users related will make the finalization, right? Okay. And these 10 users, what they're trying to do is they're trying to generate n number of customers. So we are staying somewhere at Hyderabad and we are providing very good interest rate, maybe for our credit card or maybe for loans. So every part of India, they're coming down to Hyderabad just for the sake of loan and other things. In that scenario, number of transactions count is getting increased, right? Am I correct? So we are trying to generate lot of business, but showing like less number of users. So in that scenario, we'll be getting some justification related mail. So they will be asking us to change the license type to number of transactions. Okay. So what are we understanding? Mostly Pega will be giving license in terms of number of transactions. It will not be on number of users. So if it is based on number of users, then license cost no one can bear. Suppose if I talk about like Facebook application. Okay. So if
Chandra, sorry to disturb you. I am a bit confused whether you're talking about the licensed part or what, or the number of users they are going to interact with
license depends
Pega.
upon the number of users or number of transactions. That is what I'm
Number
trying.
of okay.
So let me again quickly explain. So if this is the organization, so they wanted to design few applications. So for that, they wanted to go with Pega, right? So in that scenario, they have to get Pega license. So Pega will be giving license for this organization in terms of two factors. So that is based on number of users or number of transactions. That is what I'm saying. So number of users meaning how many people will log in, whatever they might be doing internally. So for how many we are supposed to give login access. And transactions meaning maybe if one person logging in, he will be generating some outputs, right? Okay, those are like
Correct.
number of transactions. One user can generate n number of transaction IDs. So maybe if I'm a bank employee, so as a single person I log in, so I can generate 10 credit card request, right? So that is what. Understood the difference between number of users and number of transactions?
Got it. Got it.
Got it, right? So now if I'm trying to take the license based on the number of users, it might be advantage for us, but it might be loss for the organization Pega, right? So every time Pega will ask us to go for number of transactions only. Okay. So the main clients today, they are not going for based on number of users. If they are supposed to go for number of users, they cannot bear the license cost. So one best example is if you go for maybe Facebook. Okay. So Facebook application, if it is developed on Pega, consider if it is developed on Pega. So just imagine how many users from the world will log in. So each user might be having, or each person will be having multiple accounts also. Maybe if I'm having 3 accounts, so it will be considered like in 3 users. So likewise, how many people in the world will have accounts and each person, how many extra accounts. So if this is developed on Pega, that is external websites, if they are developed on Pega, so this organization cannot bear their Pega license. That is the reason internal applications, whatever they are maintaining, for all the Facebook employees who are internally working, there must be salary management, right? So there must be some extra related things. No, every internal applications they will be developing based on Pega. Got it right? So we can even go for external websites design also, but based on the license related things, no client is choosing Pega for their external things, only for internal. So today you'll join some company. Okay, you join some company and okay, maybe today you're joining some company like TCS. So TCS initially what they will do, they'll try to put you on bench right initially. Maybe in the next 1 week or so, you'll be assigned to a client. So client can be like Bank of America or something related to insurance sector or something related to healthcare sector, whatever it is. So maybe if you are assigned to a Bank of America project, so this Bank of America will have my main website and n number of internal applications. You as a Pega developer, no doubt should concentrate on this internal only. So you'll be given projects or tasks related to internal related things only, not the main one. So this is what my final statement is. Every one of you by this time should understand what is like business processing applications. Okay. And what is like intranet applications. And why are we calling this Pega as business process management tool? So clear, right, so far? Everything related discussion clear? Any questions, anyone? Online everyone following, right? Come on.
Yes. Yes. Sure. Yeah, I'm clear.
So finally, our earlier statement is using Pega, we can develop any application. Now modified statement is using Pega will concentrate only on internal applications. Okay, fine. So maybe today, if you are searching somewhere in Naukri about some kind of Pega jobs, so there you'll see it as Pega jobs, and you'll see somewhere as Pega BPM jobs, and you'll see somewhere as Pega CSA jobs, and somewhere as CWSA jobs, somewhere as LSA, somewhere you'll see Pega PRPC jobs. So Pega RPA jobs, okay, Pega business analyst jobs, okay, Inka Pega admin jobs, Pega sales jobs, okay, Pega marketing jobs, Pega UI specialist jobs. So you'll see n number of such. If you just search with keyword like Pega, you'll get these many things. So out of which Pega BPM is what is like clear for us. Okay, whatever we are learning now, that is Pega BPM only.
So, Chandra, I have a question. Is it not, we are not going to deal with any PRPC here?
We don't know what is PRPs, right?
No.
I thought of telling that also. Okay, so please give me some time. Okay, so if you see anywhere like maybe to answer your question right away, if you see anything about this or this or this or this one or even this or even this, okay, and maybe this one also, and sometimes this one also. So you people will be eligible for all these kind of jobs. Okay, so RPA and business analyst. So even like business analyst also, our training will be sufficient. Sales, marketing, RPA, these will be little different. Okay, so what is this CSA? What is this CWSA or LSA or PRPC? You don't know all these things, right? That is the reason I did not put that point right away. Got it? So finally, Pega is one BPM tool. So which is trying to automate some internal business processing. Fine. So if I'm trying to develop one application with Pega, suppose if I wanted to develop one application with Pega, so there will be different phases. So ultimately to reach to the production, right? So maybe today is today is like January 1st, 2025. So we as a client, that is ABC, wanted to design some application. So here client is saying like, I want this credit card application to be developed in 1 year. So what does that 1 year meaning? So 1 year meaning from today within 1 year, it must be deployed to the bank server. Ante kada. So in between n number of other things will be there. Initially analysis phase will be there. How many requirements will be there? How many sprints are to be divided into? So maybe development estimates and maybe testing estimates, whether they are matching or not. So there will be some kind of development phase within which sprint analysis will be there. Maybe after that testing phase will be there. After that next UAT phase will be there. Maybe pre-prod, likewise different phases. I'll explain this sprint methodologies, everything later. So finally, maybe a project to be completely deployed. So it is not just based on development. There will be other phases also. So if I'm trying to go for Pega, so Pega is providing completely end-to-end solution to the client. Okay, so if I'm client here, I'm trying to take Pega license, right? So Pega is not just automating development, it is even automating the other processes also. So it is trying to make deployment process to the testing. It is trying to make other things also very easy for me. So Pega is giving us some kind of easy development. That is one important advantage. Apart from development, it is even giving us something called reporting. So what do you mean by reporting? So reporting in the sense, so visualizing the raw data in some pictorial form. So suppose if I'm like a bank manager, consider Ravi is one bank manager. And under Ravi, so there will be a person called Rahul who is trying to work for credit card. And maybe another person, something like Raju, who is working for loans application. So what Rahul generally will do, he will try to register n number of credit card customers. Raju will try to register n number of loan customers. So Ravi as a bank manager, he should daily monitor. So how many credit cards are issued, maybe how many loans are issued. So here maybe Rahul, if he's trying to register maybe 100 customers per day, no doubt those 100 records must be maintained in their database table, right? So Ravi, maybe if he's logging in with his ID, so there must be a button kind of click here to generate today's report. So that report must be displayed in some pictorial form, maybe bar graph like this. So whatever the data in our database table, it is pictorially represented in terms of vertical bar graphs, maybe in terms of horizontal bar graphs, or maybe in terms of concentric circles, or in terms of Excel sheet, whatever. So pictorial representation of raw data, we call it as data visualization or data reporting. So generally, for data visualization or for data reporting, we generally rely on other tools like Tableau or Power BI. So you might be coming across these two things. These are some external tools where these tools are be integrated with our application. So this application might be designed on Pega or whatever it might be. So consider these applications might be designed in traditional manner. So here we'll be writing a lot of coding to develop something, right? And if I wanted to do some reporting part, I have to take Tableau license externally, and I have to integrate here. On click of this, it will be pulling out the data and generating in some pictorial form. But in Pega, if the same application is developed on Pega, I don't know, I need not rely on such extra tools. So Pega is internally having such reporting content, and one developer like you can able to design this front end as well as you can take care of data reporting part also. Okay, maybe otherwise scenarios, you have to take Tableau license, you have to hire one developer, you have to pay him. Okay, fine. So kind of reporting or data visualization is inbuilt in Pega. Let me show you with one example. So generally you'll be using smartwatches, right? So in that smartwatches, there will be something kind of exercise tracking. So there might be one database table at your smartwatch level itself. So there it will be having everything in terms of row and column structure. So today's date, how many steps, how many glasses of water you drank, everything. So this as the data, if I see in tabular form, it will not be attracted to the customer. It will not be that easy tracking also. Instead, if this is pictorially represented in terms of concentric circles, just imagine. So how attractive the data will be, how easily we can visualize the content. So such level of data visualization part is inbuilt in Pega. So where you can go for different type of charts also, bubble charts or scattering charts, or maybe like concentric circles, or maybe pie chart or speedometer graphs, whatever it is. Fine. So it is doing development easy for us. It is providing data visualization. And even Pega is providing something kind of integrations also. So what do you mean by integration? Suppose if I uh, consider one small example. So maybe if this is like HSBC Bank or HDFC Bank, whatever. So if you wanted to get one credit card from HDFC Bank, what you'll do? So you'll go to the bank, right? Maybe if I'm the employee here. So you as a customer coming to me and asking for credit card. So will I simply give you credit card kit? No, right? What happens? First, we are supposed to check for your eligibility. So eligibility in the sense in India, we'll check based on CIBIL score. So we'll be searching for your PAN card number or SSN number. So based on that, you will be getting some score. So if the score is good, you will be getting so and so eligibility. Maybe if something is less, you might be getting 50% eligibility, or you might be even rejected also. So this particular score, from where are we getting? So this particular bank is not maintaining this data, right? So generally this data might be maintained somewhere at, consider RBI, Reserve Bank, the main bank for all such. So if I'm trying to enter customer PAN card number and clicking on search button, it is supposed to be sent for the third party application. And third party application, what they have to do? So they are supposed to get it from their database, and you are supposed to get back the information, right? Come on. And then, so here, what are we doing is, maybe this is our application one, maybe this has application two. So this application, we call it as requester application. And this application, we call it as provider application. So today, you as a Pega developer can join at this level or at this level. So if you are joining this Pega project, your application is like a service provider. Maybe if you are joining somewhere in this application, they are also developed on Pega, right? So you will be considered as requester application. And technically, These request applications are also called downstream applications. So this is called upstream applications. Straight away in interviews, they'll ask you whether you worked on integration part or not. If so, what type of application it is? Is it upstream or downstream? So maybe if it is upstream, how are we handling their request? So how are we handling their request meaning? So this HDFC bank people, what are they trying to do? They're trying to send us one PAN card number, right? So this PAN card number should be sent here. So consider this is developed on Pega and maybe this is developed on .NET. So it doesn't mean both the technologies or both the applications must be on same technologies, right? It doesn't mean. Okay, so here if I'm trying to send some input, so they are completely developed on .NET, they might not understand our request, right? Whatever I'm sending, they might not understand. Okay, and whatever they're sending back, we might not understand. So here, so if you wanted to integrate between two different applications, so irrespective of our backend technologies, integration should be possible. Am I correct? So for that, what we are supposed to do is we are supposed to send the data in some common language. So as I earlier told you, you take any technology in the world, maybe Pega as a tool or .NET or Python or Java, whatever it is. So consider another bank. So this is SBI Bank. So maybe this is like Axis Bank. So here HDFC should interact with RBI. So they also should interact with RBI. They also should interact with RBI, right? So here, if maybe four applications are getting integrated, so it doesn't mean all the four to be designed on same technology. So maybe RBI might be designed long back, maybe 1950. By the time .NET might be the latest one. And today we are trying to start a new bank. And no doubt we are supposed to integrate with RBI. So it doesn't mean RBI is developed on .NET. We are also supposed to go on .NET. It doesn't mean that. So I can build my application in whatever the technology I want. But no doubt I have to send the input which is to be understandable in their .NET language. How it is possible? So as I earlier told you, every technology in the world will be understanding some common or universal languages. Few universal languages are like HTML, maybe XML, or maybe JSON likewise. So whenever we are submitting this, our Pega input should be converted into any of these common languages. So which will be understandable by the third party application. They are supposed to again reconvert into their native language. They will be executing their own database queries and they will be again converting something into XML related format or JSON. So they'll be sending back and this content has to be again reconverted. This whole process is called web service or integration. So now in Pega, maybe your application might be at requester level or your application might be at provider level. So no doubt you are supposed to go for third party integration, right? So all such things are inbuilt. You need not worry how to interact with third party applications. So integrations are completely inbuilt in Pega irrespective of other backend technology. So consider the same example. So we are working for Citibank, which is developing on Pega. Now I wanted to get some data from third-party application, which might be on Java or .NET. So happily processing should happen. So they are supposed to send back the response. Their response is what we have to understand. In between, what is the common language we are using? In interviews, they'll ask you. So whether you are working at downstream application or upstream application, what common language you used? So how can you, what type of response you send back? So these things. Okay, technically we'll be talking more about this. So this whole requirement or this discussion alone will discuss about like 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, fine. So Pega as a whole is making development easy. It is making like visualization part easy and even it is making like integration part also easy. And along with that, it is even providing something called versioning also. What do you mean by version? This we have to know. So for everyone clear? Online, everyone following, right?
Chandra, I have a question here. So when you're talking about the integration, so in terms of Java, so does it mean that you're talking about the REST and SOAP services?
Whatever
Is
it.
it meeting?
So
Sorry?
here, yeah, if my initial application is Pega, and
Yeah.
here it is my backend as Java. So
Mhm.
here service providers should decide how to accept the request. Service provider will decide how to send back the response. So
Correct.
requesters is not at all having upper hand here. Only providers will decide how the processing should happen. So this processing should be completely automated, right? Whenever we send a request, we are supposed to get back the response, meaning provider should be having some automated design internally, what we technically call it as web service. Web service will be developed sometimes on SOAP, sometimes on REST. Okay, SOAP meaning they will be internally having XML as the data transmission. REST meaning they will be mostly having JSON as the transmission. So what to be used, that will be decided provider level. Okay, is that your question?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes. So we'll be completely understanding about SOAP related part. So how the SOAP will be designed from providers level, and how the SOAP will be designed at requester level, how the REST architecture will be maintained at provider, how the same REST architecture to be consumed at requester level. So in between, if there is any exception identified, suppose here, if I'm trying to search with PAN card number, my expectation is to get back some response. Okay, so this is kind of happy path. So there will be scenarios where you'll not get back the response, right? I'm searching with PAN card number, and from provider level, this is our provider application. From provider level in their database, the PAN card number might not be there. So in that scenario, here database query will be failed, and some kind of error messages is what we'll see at this level. The same error message, there might be chances of sending it back. You should not send back such error message, right? So if any exception identified maybe at provider level or maybe at requester level, you should handle it by showing some extra screens. Okay, exceptional handling in SOAP part, exceptional handling in REST part. So these things also we'll try to understand. Got it right? So
Yeah.
maybe these days, if you're trying to open, maybe in your mobile phone, if you're trying to open Amazon, you search for a product, right? So what is our expectation? Some information about the product is what we have to get. So sometimes you might not get the expected output. So instead you'll see something went wrong as the message, right? So background, there might be different failures. It might be like server failure from our end or third party end, or maybe timeout issues, whatever it might be. Front end, I'm not displaying such error code. I'm not displaying any kind of error. Instead, I'm displaying with some customized images. So for every such exception identified in front end, I'll be displaying one image saying like our server is down or please try again. Okay, so this things. All this comes under exceptional handlings inside web services. Got it right? Okay, what about others? Everyone else following, right? Any
Yes,
questions,
sir.
anyone? Online people? You people should be interactive. Then only I'll come to know whether you're understanding or not. Okay,
Yes,
online
sir,
everyone?
it's continue.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah, fine. So now we are understanding Pega is even providing something kind of versioning. What do you mean by versioning? So maybe today I'm a developer in TCS. So what I'll do? So here I'll be working for a city project, right? Even TCS will not have their own design. So what TCS will do? So all these are like consultancy companies. They'll try to get some projects from different clients, and they will hire the development team, and we are supposed to work for that. Okay. So we are initially working for development part. And once our development is done, so the same project will require some kind of testing. So this testing project might be available at our same company or maybe different company also. So why one project will be distributed between n number of companies? I'll explain this tomorrow. So maybe you are a developer here and it will be having something like testing phase. So something like UAT phase and something like production or pre-prod. So starting from here to reaching here, this is like whole project completion. In between, there will be different phases. So I, as a developer, will develop everything, and the same has to be tested. So here, testing servers will be different, and development server will be different. So movement of code from one server to another server, we call it as deployment. Okay, so in between, what are we doing is, so if I'm trying to develop something and send it to the testing team, so no doubt testers will test that. If they're identifying any issues, it will come back to the development and we are supposed to fix it. Again, it will be sent further. And if any extra defects identified, it will come back to the development. And again, it will go further. So whatever the initial design I have done, so one version of that is pushed here. And for some extra issues, I'm trying to create this as a separate version and push it here. And I'm trying to create the same as third version and push it here. And maybe fourth version and push it here. So once everything is finalized, so some other version will be pushed here. So development wise, I'm trying to do one main thing and I'm trying to make it into different versions and splitting it and deploying it into different environments. So for maintaining such things with different versions, we require versioning concept. Okay, you might not understand this terminology right away. So versioning will be there in every project. One version will be deployed to testing team. Maybe one version will be deployed to UAT phase. And maybe one version will be deployed to production. So here, for maintaining different versions, generally we'll be using third-party tools. Generally, we'll be using third-party tools. So one such tool is Team Foundation Server. So here I'm designing my own application. And just for the sake of versioning, I have to get license from third-party tool. I have to hire one more admin for that. And he will be dividing into, or he'll be slicing, or he'll be versionizing it. But now, if we are trying to go for Pega, development is made easy, integration part is there, data visualization part is there, and even versioning part is also there in Pega. You need not go for any extra versioning tools. That is what I'm trying to say. So versioning part is also inbuilt. And even Pega is providing something kind of deployment part also. So moving of code from one environment to another environment, we technically call it as deployment. So generally for deployment, you are supposed to go for n number of DevOps tools. Okay, DevOps tools. So if this is the scenario, so extra some DevOps tool license is what we have to get, and we have to maintain one administrator also for that. Instead, if I'm trying to design everything with the Pega, okay, so the same code can be easily deployed into other environments also. Pega is having inbuilt deployment manager. So to get everything deployed onto different environments. Maybe some clients wanted to go for DevOps tools only. They don't want to go for manual deployment. In that scenario, no doubt you can get some extra license and you can integrate here also. Pega is equally supporting manual deployment as well as automated deployment also. And now at this point, what I'm saying is Pega is having manually deployment. You need not rely on any external tools. That is what. So finally, by understanding or by looking at this chart, so Pega is providing end-to-end solution to the customer, right? So maybe if we are like organization of ABC, we wanted to start a application. Okay. So from development to deployment, everything Pega is providing to me. I need not go for any extra licenses. I need not go for any extra team hiring also. So it is providing end-to-end solutions to the customers. That is the reason every customer today, maybe Bank of America or City clients, whatever it is, every client is being attracted to Pega today because of these packed solutions, end-to-end solutions. No other tool, no other such BPM tool is providing this level of suit for us. Okay, so you take any other thing, it might be developed or it might be automated only till this part, or it might be automated only this part. So this as a whole is not automated in any other BPM tool. Okay, so if we just take Pega license, every other thing is like HR. This is what you have to. So finally, all the clients are attracted to Pega to design their applications, and based on two major reasons. So that is, let me tell you with one small example. So consider I'm developing application 1 and application 2. So if application 2 is developed completely on traditional manner, and if application 1, if I'm trying to do the same using Pega. Okay, so if it is in traditional manner, no doubt you have to design front end, right? So for designing front end user interface, there must be minimum of 3 developers. Consider we are supposed to hire 3 developers. And backend. So for backend, I may require 3 more extra developers, 3 Java developers. And maybe for database part, I might be maintaining minimum of 2 developers. So maybe for deployment, there might be at least 1 developer. Okay, and for data visualization, I might be having 2 Tableau resources. Okay, mm, and for give on time and for versioning, I might be hiring 1 more developer. Okay, now? So what is happening? So in order to design one complete web application, we might require minimum of 20-member team. Just an example, 20-member team. And this application is what we're starting from zero, right? Kind of scratch. In that scenario, everything is what we have to do from coding level, where this project alone might take 2 years time. So now if we are client here, you are supposed to pay for this 20 members for how many years? 2 years. So you are supposed to pay for 20 members for 2 years. And the same output if I wanted to achieve with Pega. So, one Pega developer can do what an front-end developer is doing traditionally. So one Pega developer can do what an regular Java developer does there. So one Pega developer can replace a database developer. I might not have any such coding skills, but whatever he is doing manually, I can get it automated, right? I can get that same product, same output. So meaning one Pega developer can do what all other developers are doing there. In that scenario, we don't require 20-member team there. We might just require 5-member team. One Pega developer can do every other task, right? Just 5-member team is enough. And that too, Pega is completely automated. You need not do anything from zero. So meaning this whole project will simply drag and drop and implement, right? This whole project might be completed maybe in 6 months time compared to this ratio I'm talking about. So if this is the scenario, client has to pay for how many members? 5 members. For how many months? Just 6 months, right? So just imagine for a client here, how level of budget is getting saved. That is one thing. Second thing here is development time. He is getting the same product in very, very less time. So he has to wait for 2 years there. He has to wait for just 6 months. He can pay for that 6 months only. So considering these two things, so resource cut down and development time is less and budget is more. Considering all these things, clients are choosing Pega for their applications development. So no one is going like traditional way these days. Okay, fine. So there are n number of projects in Pega in different sectors. So you take any banking sector. So Standard Chartered, maybe HSBC or Citibank, whatever it is. You take any bank today, high level clients are using Pega only. You take any healthcare project. So most they're running on Pega itself. You take any insurance sector, all these internally developing on Pega. And you take any retail sector, okay, maybe Walmart or IKEA, whatever it is, everything will be built on Pega. And even e-commerce related things also internally they will be going for Pega. Okay, and today if you take any government applications in the sense, Australian government related internal applications are completely developed on Pega only. How like in India, we'll be having some municipality related application, maybe Aadhaar card management related application. All these applications will not be exposed to public, right? Only internal employees. So likewise, Australian internal applications, government applications are completely developed on Pega. And that too from our Indian company, Indian offshore related only, we are doing this. Okay, in every sector, Pega is like doing the here. And just considering this, Pega is even developing frameworks also for those. I'll talk about framework in coming classes. So what will be the frameworks for banking? What will be the frameworks for healthcare? All these things. I'll use the framework word maybe tomorrow's or day after session. Okay, finally, Pega projects are more today. You need not worry on that. And coming to the salaries prospect too. So one Pega developer will be paid around $80 per hour, maybe $80 to $120 per hour if he's at client location. Okay, maybe if he's at offshore location, he'll be paid around minimum $40 per hour. So just imagine $40 per hour meaning. So per day we are supposed to work for 8 hours. Meaning per day you will be getting $320. So $320 into 22 working days on an average. So just imagine how much salary you'll get. And this salary will be like very, very huge for us. But you will not get this salary directly into your pocket. That is the problem. So what is happening is, so maybe client is having few positions. So client, what he's trying to do, he's trying to give the project to some vendor company like TCS. So you might be joining like a developer in TCS, or you might be joining like a developer at direct client also, depends. And here TCS, they might recruit you permanently, or even TCS might give vendorship for some third party company also, depending upon the project tenure. So if I require this person for more than 2 years, then they'll go for permanent employment. So if I require a position to work for this client only for 6 months, in that scenario, they will not hire you here for 6 months and they will not release you after that. Maybe if they are releasing you after 6 months, it will be like a bad name for the company, right? So they'll go for some contract position. Maybe something like third party ABC consultancy, maybe something like below each other consultancy, and maybe something different consultancies. So for one client position, there will be different level of companies you work on. So now client is ready to pay one developer around like $100 per hour. Okay, so this $100 per hour, if you are working here, it will not be credited to your pocket directly. So this will be credited to your payroll company. So payroll company, what they will do? They will not talk to you anything about like hourly basis. But these companies, they will talk to the client saying like our developer is like well experienced. He can manage maybe 4 projects at a time. So he has got like very good experience working in all the domains. So we want no doubt $100 per hour. He is ready to work on Saturdays and Sundays. In this way, they'll try to project to the client. And this company, whenever they hiring you, they'll talk saying like, so we'll be paying 15 lakh per year or 20 lakh per year. So they'll be talking in terms of package. Okay, so whatever the situation might be that 1 year, you are supposed to be fixed for that salary. If client is requesting you to come on Saturdays, you are supposed to do. So I'll come on Saturday, I'll work for that. And now this company, they can able to project to the client saying like my employee worked on Saturday. So you are supposed to pay even for that. So between these two, one level of payroll will be running out. Between you both, another payroll will be running out. So they'll be talking everything in terms of package. Fine. So maybe if you are getting like 1 crore per year, they'll be paying around 15 lakh or 20 lakh. So that is what the ratio generally runs out. And maybe if you are trying to work to the client in terms of some level third party company. So this ABC company will release some kind of recruitment, right? So if I'm an employee going there, so what they'll say is we are having few requirement in TCS, and TCS in turn might be having City Client or Bank of America, whatever. So you'll be like an employee in this company. So what they will do is they'll try to negotiate for only 5 lakh package for it. So client is ready to pay 1 crore, maybe level one, the middle company, they are trying to make only 50%. So this 50% will be shared to this company and they will take some portion and they'll give you some amount. So likewise, if you are going somewhere to the last of the chain, you'll be getting minimum package like 3 lakh, 4 lakh today. So today, maybe some of your friends, so they'll be working for 40 lakh packages. They'll be working for 5 lakh packages also. They both might be having same Pega skill, but where are they lagging? They are lagging somewhere to this chain. So how closer you go to the client, so you'll be getting that level of high salaries. So never you can join to the client directly at this point. So you are like a Pega beginner, right? So you cannot directly join the client. So at least if you can join this company, so that is like enough for you at this point. So maybe if you are joining this client or maybe this company or this company somewhere, so mostly top 2 or 3 level, they will be checking everything in terms of your genuinity. So when is your year of pass out, and when you have done your Pega certifications, and whether you are like Pakka genuine candidate or not. Okay, so maybe somewhere if you go to the last, maybe if I'm running one startup company somewhere here. So what I'll do, I'll just check for your Pega skill. Okay, so you might be joining here as like a Pega fresher for me. So these days, you people will see something like Pega fresher positions, right? So Pega fresher position meaning no company will generally consider as fresher. Suppose if you are like running one ABC company, if a person coming to you and saying like I'm a fresher, please give me job, will you consider it? No. So no client today will consider any fresher. So then what is the question of, or what is the point of Pega fresher? So what you have to know is, so if you are somewhere going last to the chain, so these companies generally will be running just for the sake of profits only. Okay, so if I'm running this company, what I'll do? So I'll try to check for your skill. So you might be having 10 years career gap. You might be having something completely irregular background. So we'll not bother all such. We'll just check whether you're having Pega skill or not. I'll be just looking for kind of client requirement basis. If my client is asking that candidate should be of 3 years level, I'll just check whether your skill is up to that or not. So I'll be hiring you. And in this context, I'll give you hardly package of maybe 3 lakh or 4 lakh. So you are joining like a fresher in this company, but you will be projected to the above client saying like this person is working in our company from past 3 years. That is what these companies will manage. Okay. And this company will try to manage the above client. These companies will try to manage. So even this company will try to manage above client. So how level of good you are exposed, that salaries is what you will get it. So everything depending upon how it will be exposed. So just for the sake of exposure, you are supposed to do Pega certifications. Okay, I'll talk about this tomorrow. So I'll explain this related SAL related structure, maybe company related structure, maybe about certifications. Okay, maybe if you are having a lot of career gap, so how to project yourself. Maybe if you are having like IT experience, how to switch to the Pega related things. So these related things we'll talk tomorrow. And then we'll start about our actual Pega discussion. Got it right? Everyone understood? Any questions, anyone?
Hey,
Yes,
Chandra,
sir.
Yep, tell me.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
actually, thank you. After the entire course, we are going to learn these all stages like data visualization, developing, versioning, deploying. All these we are going to learn.
Everything related to CWSC level, it will be covered. So to answer your question, development related things is what we completely learn, deployment related part, and maybe like integration related part, and maybe like automated job scheduler related part, and even deployment part or data visualization part, whatever I'm trying to say. So everything will be covered.
Yeah,
Got it?
okay. This is like none of this topic. I want to ask. Nowadays, like everything is like artificial intelligence, right?
Mm.
So every stage like deployment, data visualization, like it's creating everything its own. So is there
Mm.
future for Pega?
So yesterday I told you, even Pega is having artificial intelligence. Yes or no? So the
Yeah, yeah,
latest
yeah.
version of Pega, so consider we know something about like artificial intelligence, which is doing everything automated. So
Hmm.
today, is Google not having artificial intelligence? Is Microsoft not having artificial intelligence? Okay, so even one small Excel sheet is also having some AI included. So now even with Pega, everything artificial intelligence is inbuilt. So Gen AI, okay, it is internally having autopilot. So if you wanted to include some extra artificial intelligence tools like Chat GPT or Gemini or maybe Copilot, even for that Pega is supporting. It is internally having Gen AI related things also. That is also we'll try to learn.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Clear,
Yeah,
right?
Chandra, I have a question, couple of questions here.
Yes.
Regarding when we are discussing the version, so can I assume that the version which you are talking, is it about the Git repository version?
You're talking about Pega version or kind of UI?
In the workflow, in the presentation, there was a version, right? After integrating, there was a version you're talking, right?
You
So
talking about any of these screens? I did not get you.
yeah, here, the versioning.
Okay, version, yes.
No.
Yeah.
He is talking about the version control,
Yeah.
like version 1.2, 1.3, 1.5.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there will be like Pega versions different and in between development related versions different. So Pega versions are nowhere related to our discussion now at this point. So maybe you will be having different versions. Suppose in sprint number 1. So I'm supposed to design a screen. Okay.
Yeah, I understand that concept, that what you said, that I understand. But my question is, like, let's say that in the existing company, we have this like a Git repository, like a Git cloud, right? So how can we integrate that into the Pega?
So there
Right.
must be extra configurations to be done. So if I wanted to integrate my external database, it is possible. If I wanted to integrate some extra DevOps, so maybe versioning. So versioning wise, I don't think any client today is using external third-party versioning related. So every structure in Pega is having its own internal versioning. So I think it is not, I did not see any project supporting like external versioning concept included in Pega. Okay, so it is having internal versioning control where we can able to maintain production rule set versionings there, branch rule set versionings there, and maybe development related versioning and testing related versioning. So to answer your question, external versioning related things are nowhere integrated in Pega as per my experience.
Okay. And this most of the things I think I have seen here jobs. There is a Pega robotic automations, and where it exactly falls. It falls in like RPA or BA or admin. Where?
How to talk about these level of certifications also. There I may thought to explain all these things. What is UI specialist and what is like Pega BA, Pega robotics. Okay, so these things I'll talk tomorrow. Okay, there are like something extra discussion to be done at this level. After that, we'll take some extra questionnaire and then we'll start our actual Pega discussion.
Okay. Yeah.
Today I'm running out of time. So tomorrow
Okay.
I'll talk about all the things. Got it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you everyone. So requesting everyone tomorrow also, please join with the same meeting link at the same time.
Thank you.
Thank you.